Have you ever had somebody, a toxic person, a narcissist, ruin a big event for you? Maybe it was a birthday celebration, or perhaps it was a graduation, or even a wedding. These type of people, narcissists, love to sabotage big events. And if you have had this happen, I would love to hear about it. Put in the comments what your event was, what happened, how it impacted you, your day, your big event, your celebration, whatever that looked like, because this happens more than you think. Hi, I'm Ginny Preem. I am a Master Certified Professional Life Coach, a keynote speaker, a best-selling author, and also the host of the podcast, Drinking with Gin. Today, we are going to dive into why narcissists sabotage big events. So as we dive into why narcissists love to sabotage special occasions, we're going to break it down into a couple different categories, or a few different categories. We're going to break it down into why do they do this? Give you all the reasons of why they ruin special occasions and sabotage big events for other people. Then let's talk about signs to watch out for, how you might even be able to prevent this from happening, and then if it does happen, how to handle it. I have had this happen to myself, and I have heard so many stories and instances. One that I love to share is a friend of mine who had a big birthday party, and the narcissist brought this over-the-top, super extravagant cake. Not because they wanted the cake to be a gift to the birthday person, but because they wanted everybody to pay attention to this grand cake that they brought and have the attention be brought to them and the cake. And maybe you've had this happen so much, or even if you had it happen as a child, it's kind of ruined things for you. Maybe you just don't like birthday celebrations at all because you've had a narcissist in your life ruin birthday parties or events so frequently or so badly that it's just kind of ruined it for you overall. Maybe today will give you a little bit of inspiration into changing that perspective. All right, so let's talk about the why. Why do narcissists and toxic people love to ruin big events? Number one, they need control. They need to have control of situations. They need to control you. So if by ruining a big event, they can get a reaction out of you so that they can then punish you for that bad reaction, that's one of the ways that they are going to gain control. So that need for control is a big thing that fuels these narcissists and their desires. Number two, their need for attention. They need to be the center of attention. They need everything to revolve around them. Remember that. Narcissists need everything to revolve around them because that's what fuels their ego, which is what gives them supply. So they need to be the center of attention. And when it's someone else's big day, someone else's big event, someone else's big celebration, maybe they want a big award, if it's not about them, they are going to find a way to make it about them. Number three, they are incredibly jealous. I actually like to say that narcissists are envious. And I love how Brené Brown describes the difference between jealousy and envy. Jealousy is something that can happen all of the time. You might see a friend on a really great vacation, and so you say, oh, I really want to be on that vacation. I don't want to take it away from them. I also want them to be on that vacation. They deserve it, but I want it too. Whereas envy is you want to take it away from that person. You don't want them to have the vacation because you want to have it instead. And I know that's kind of a fine line in the difference there, but I think it's an important deciphering factor. And I think that's the difference between jealousy can sometimes be a normal thing to maybe help you strive for things. Maybe you see, like, for example, for me, I'm a keynote speaker. If I see a friend on a really great speaking engagement and a really beautiful stage, I might see that and go, oh man, good for them. That's amazing. And that might actually be fuel for me to then want to achieve the same thing. But envy is wanting to take that away from somebody so that you can have it instead. And at the end of the day, narcissists resent when other people are celebrated. Number four, Narcissists love to say how much they hate drama, but yet they love to cause it and they love to stir it up. So if they can ruin a big event, make a big scene, do something that's going to create drama, maybe it's pitting people against each other. And we're going to get into some of the ways that they do that in just a second, but they are drama queens and kings. They love to start and stir up drama. They thrive living in chaos. They love getting emotional reactions out of other people because, again, that circles back to the control that they need. If you make a big reaction, then they can kind of blame shift. They can turn the tables. They can do DARVO, which is deny, attack, reverse the victim and offender. If they can get that sort of reaction out of you by creating a big scene, creating this drama, and ultimately making it about them. Now, I always say that this is a big red flag. Of course, these types of situations can come up with families, with romantic relationships, but I always say that this is a big friendship red flag. If you have friends that don't celebrate your successes, that are jealous of you, that don't celebrate you when you win a big award or accomplishing big things in life and your career with your family, whatever that looks like, that is a big red flag. People should be happy for you, that love you, that you're close to. They should want you to succeed and do your best and see you be happy. So if you are starting to see any of these things, if you've got a big event coming up and you start to see, because we're going to dive into now, some of the signs that they might be planning to or might be trying to ruin a big event for you, and then some of the ways that they actually do it at the event. Okay, so one of the ways that a narcissist might ruin an event leading up to it is they will use their tactic of triangulation. This is where they might start to pick fights between people. They might start to create a wedge between you and someone else. They might start spreading negativity, again, causing these little fights or scenes behind the scenes. And this is really designed to make you start to doubt yourself. Maybe doubt if you should be the center of attention. And it's also a distraction technique. So this tactic of triangulation, starting fights, talking negatively about other people behind their backs to kind of create drama, cause a stir behind the scenes, it's really a distraction. Again, so maybe they can make it about themselves and deter from the big celebration or the big event. Another way the narcissist might try to ruin an event is by playing the victim. We know they love to do this. And so one of the ways that they might do that is if you aren't including them enough in the planning. Or let's say even if it's a wedding and they're not giving a speech or they didn't get picked to be the maid of honor or the best man, they might guilt trip and say things like, well, I guess I'm just not important enough to be included, if they didn't get the role that they believe that they deserve in the event. So one of the ways that they might ruin an event at the event is by showing up late, making a grand entrance, or storming out and leaving suddenly, making a grand exit. Or they might do something like steal the spotlight. They might, grab the microphone and bring the attention to them at a big event. Maybe it's a wedding or graduation, some sort of a celebration where they weren't really designed to be part of the main event, but they just couldn't help it. They had to bring the attention to themselves. So they might start a fight. They might, like I said, make a grand entrance, cause a big scene, cause a big fuss, or storm out. These are all ways that they might ruin the event at the event. And this is a really big one to look out for leading up to the big event, the big accomplishment, the big launch, the big career change, whatever that might look like for you. And I'll even share a personal story on this one. But one thing to look out for is, are they making backhanded compliments? Are they doing the guilt tripping? Are they making backhanded compliments or straight up complaining about everything? These are all ways that they might be trying to sabotage or ruin it or make you second guess yourself. So let's say, for example, let me use my own personal example. When I published and launched my first book, You're My Favorite, someone that was really close in my life that turned out being one of the most toxic, dangerous people that I had in my life for almost a decade, leading up to my book launch party. It was backhanded compliments. It was questioning why I was having my party, where I was having it. It was nitpicking every single thing. And even when I first started talking about launching my book, which was a really big special thing for me, this person kept on giving me like backhanded compliments or giving little digs like, you have to be able to say that someone has blonde hair if you're going to write a book without saying that they have blonde hair. Or when I was going to launch my career outside of corporate America, they were using fear tactics. So this is another way that they might try to ruin big events or big changes in your life, which all they should be doing is supporting you and your big accomplishments and your big achievements that you have going on. But these fear tactics could look like, well, aren't you scared? Aren't you scared of this? What if things don't go well? What if it doesn't go right? Versus someone being supportive and encouraging you on your path of big achievements and accomplishments. So these are some of the things to look out for leading up to a big event, or special occasions in your life. So how do we handle these narcissists and toxic people when it comes to big celebrations, big events in our lives? Well, the first one is possibly don't invite them. If you don't have to, and if there's no reason to invite them, then perhaps you just need to unsubscribe from the idea of having that person at your event, and maybe you don't invite them. If for some reason you feel like you have to invite them, then you could limit their role. Don't give them any positions of power. Don't give them positions that is going to put the spotlight on them. Like we talked about earlier, giving a speech or having a big role in the planning of the event. And of course, one of the other things that we talk constantly about is setting boundaries. I like to call them personal policies. So have some personal policies around your event or around your big occasion in terms of what is going to be tolerated and what isn't, and stick to it. Whenever we have these personal policies, this is going to give very clear expectations on what type of behavior will be tolerated and what won't be accepted. And so by having this and sticking to it, it gives just very clear boundaries, very clear guidelines in terms of how things are going to go. And if it's your event, you should be able to set really clear boundaries, just like a start time and an end time, right? And making sure that people come after the start of the party or leave. These are basic, respectful things that healthy individuals are going to honor. So by having clear boundaries, clear expectations, clear guidelines, this is going to make the narcissist have less ways to sabotage your event. This one can be tough. Now, when we talk about all of the other tactics and strategies that you might be seeing them doing, maybe they're doing the backhanded compliments or making backhanded comments or giving complaints or being passive aggressive, doing the guilt tripping leading up to it. One of the ways that you can prevent them or kind of handle this situation from it becoming more problematic than it already is don't take the bait. Try to stay as emotionally neutral as you possibly can. Limit emotional reactions. Try not to react to them, rather respond. And when you do respond, try to stay as neutral and as calm as you possibly can. Because remember, that is what they are looking to get. They are looking to get an emotional reaction out of you so that they can turn that around and use it against you. Another thing we talk about often is making sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people. People that are supportive, people that are uplifting, people that aren't going to try to steal the spotlight from you, people that are going to want to celebrate you and see you shine, making sure that those are the people that you're surrounding yourself with always, but especially when it comes to these types of events. And if these people know that there are some red flags to watch out for, they can help keep things on track. They can help make sure that your event or your special occasion goes off without a hitch. And even if there are some potential issues at the event, it's always helpful to have a backup plan. Just in case things don't go exactly as planned, have a backup plan just so that you can kind of pivot and get things back on track. So, what I want you to keep in mind when it comes down to these big events and narcissists trying to control them is that you deserve the joy that you deserve. Your happiness and your joy is not dependent on them. It's yours to claim and yours to own. And when it's your event and your celebration and your accomplishment, you get the power and you can reclaim that power. You can't let them dictate your experience because you deserve to have the best experience possible. And if you keep in mind the saying that your attention goes where your energy flows, if you're focusing a lot of your attention on this person or what it might or what might happen at the event that they could potentially ruin, that's where all of your attention is going to go. So try to shift your focus, shift your energy to all of the goodness that might happen. Shift your attention to all of the goodness that is going to happen from this celebration or from this big event. Focus on the people that do truly celebrate you, want the best for you, that aren't going to steal your spotlight. Because ultimately, this celebration is for you. It's about you, not them. So shifting that focus back to you is going to help you enjoy it more. It's going to help you get the most out of it, which is everything that you deserve. So I hope that this was helpful and helped shed some light. Again, if you've had this happen, you've had a narcissist, maybe a family member, ruin a big event for you, put it in the comments. I would love to hear what your experience has been with this, or if you have another helpful tip or trick that you've implemented, I would love to hear that as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you get more content just like this. See you next time.